Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Gene Petty back at you with another episode of the All Access Podcast from the Automotive Appearance Institute. And we are recording live today from the 2025 Anson Open House at Anson in Burleson, Texas. The turnout has been great. Christina ordered some amazing weather for today.
Yes.
So we're going to walk around. We're going to do a handful of interviews, but I figured who better to start with than Christina Seckinger.
Thanks, Gene.
Miss Anson herself. So first, thanks for putting this on for everybody. Thanks for having us down.
Thank you for coming.
You guys are always great hosts.
Thank you.
Open house is always an awesome time.
Thank you.
How did you get started doing the open houses? Where did that start? I think my first one was in 18 at the old location, and I don't know when that was in the grand scheme.
This is our 8th open house, so that would have been our second open house whenever you first came. So it all started at our old location. People would come in and ask us questions about products that did craft, or all the items that we carry from other vendors.
Right.
And one item that we had at the time was Mobile Tech RX.
Okay.
We had an iPod set up iPad set up in the store. People could try before they buy. They could sign up, that kind of thing.
Right.
But we were getting asked questions that we, quite frankly, couldn't answer.
Right.
So got with Eric with Mobile Tech RX and was like, let's do like an open house where people can come and ask not just us questions, but can ask everybody else that represents the paintless dent repair industry, whether it's tools or scanning, whatever that might be. And so that's how it came about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it has morphed into this.
It's morphed into, it's gotten bigger every year, which is great. It brings customers in that maybe they shop from us online, they see the vans out on the road, but they want to come on a weekend where they can shop and it's not messing up their work day. So open on a Saturday where they can come in, shop, put their hands on tools, ask questions, and network, of course.
Right. And you bring a lot of the vendors in.
A lot of the vendors, yes.
So today I saw we have KECO from Black Plague, John and Sally from Dent Reaper, Rob from Really Quick, Charles from Cam Auto. Like you get a big turnout.
KECO, Dent Craft.
KECO's here, Dent Craft's here.
So it's great to get everybody here for the common purpose of to help technicians.
Exactly.
At the end of the day. So
that's awesome. So the open house is a great time. There's always food. This time we've got a great taco truck. Delicious, by the way.
Delicious taco truck, I have to say.
Yes, for sure. For sure. What's your favorite part about open house day or open house weekend? Because you really sort of turn it into an event.
Yes, it does turn into an open house weekend because, like you said, there's vendors that come, there's customers, technicians that come from all over the world. So it does become a big weekend for us. And my favorite part is the people that come up and tell me about their experiences from the past, or I've always wanted to come in, but I finally made it.
You get to meet people. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Putting
that's
names
really,
names with faces is huge.
Names with faces, people that have said, I've seen you online, I've seen you on YouTube videos, wherever they've seen anybody at Anson and they can see us on one place, meet up with friends, maybe you'll get a job out of it,
That's great.
Technicians meet up, network.
One of the first guys I ran into today when I walked in, sorry, can't remember your name right off the top of my head. We were talking, hey, I met you here a couple of years ago. He's like, man, the hail company that I'm working for now, I met at my last open house here. Like, connections are great.
It brings everybody together.
Yeah, connections, networking, it's incredible.
Yeah.
So now we were talking before we hopped on camera, and next year is going to be an extra big year.
It is.
Why is that, Christina?
It's Anson's 30th anniversary.
Wow.
So it'll be our 30th anniversary at our open house on Saturday, May 2nd, 2026.
Already dropping it. So put that on your calendars. There's no excuse.
No excuse.
Right?
You've got a year to plan.
Exactly. Put it on the calendar, mark it out. And I'm sure that'll be a good throwdown because we were here for the 25th anniversary.
Yes, it will be. We always go big for open houses, but we'll probably go bigger because it's our 30th anniversary.
You have to.
We have to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we are going to head over and do some more interviews. We've got some raffles coming up real soon. I heard Vinny on the mic here a minute ago, and Lee is coming back to get on the mic, so we'll need to skip out. But anyways, Christina, thanks so much for having us. Thanks for coming on. And
Thank you.
We'll see you guys at the next open house since you're not here. Hopefully this gives you a little extra FOMO.
We'll see you next
and
year.
Get it going. All right. We'll see you guys on the next segment. All right, guys. So we're still here at the Anson Open House and ran into my good buddy, Danny Hacker. Actually, it was almost staged right here at the new L2E Premium.
That's right.
So I was like, Danny, let's hop on and let's talk about what we got going on here and what this looks like.
Yeah, so we got a lot of new changes, which is really awesome, especially for how everybody's really adapting to glue pole, right? And when you adapt to glue pole, you start to see that there's problems or there's issues that need to be solved.
Right.
And when it comes to training, especially with AAI, teaching people how to change the shape of a den by using the new knockdowns or whatever the case might be, because once you deep dive, right? And you need more tools to be able to do that. Not only that, training as well. Like
Training's the key.
That's the key.
I've been a big proponent of training since the beginning.
Yeah.
So yes.
I mean, we have the foundational tools, right? Everything from the slide hammer, the K-bar, K-beam, junior, robos, all the good stuff. And we're about to win some prizes. So we're gonna speed this up a little bit.
Hurry up, go faster.
Right? We can't miss that, right?
No.
But yeah, if you come down onto this top foam organizer, you're gonna see there's a lot of new knockdown tools.
I see that.
Right? So now guys are starting to understand, like, knocking down. We don't have to be so aggressive anymore.
Right.
If we can pinpoint those high spots, that's when the magic happens. That's when I started. You taught me that stuff, right?
Exactly.
Like, hey, Danny, read the light.
Right.
Once we start to understand the light,
it's where the magic happens.
I can see it.
Yep.
Right? But yes, that takes a little bit of a learning curve to really understand what's high and what's low. Now we have the tools all organized up here to make you more efficient, especially with knocking down.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Very important, right?
Absolutely. It's the key.
It's the key. You know, if you think about it, knocking down or pulling the lows can sometimes be the easy part.
That is the easy
hard
part, generally,
part is correcting or rectifying any kind of high spot that you run into.
Right. Your precision in this repair comes from knocking down, not from lifting up.
That's it.
Right.
Huge. So yeah, we have all that covered now. We have everything in our new drawer system that we have, which is awesome. So it keeps everything nice and organized, especially in busy, productive shops that typically got a lot of techs working out of it. Now we can look at it and be like, something's missing. Hey, James, you used the system last.
Exactly.
Where are my tabs?
Where's it at?
Right?
And also keeping them out of the dust.
Out of the dust.
Yes.
Exactly, as well. So everything is lined up from rough out to finish. So you got rough out to finish on the board. You got rough out to finish in your drawer as well. Right? A little bit of a newer tab technology with the intermediate tabs. Thinner face, thicker neck. Right, that just kind of gives you a more focused pull.
Inside of those, I really like the gear tabs.
Gear tabs.
The intermediate's a nice move.
So you got a little bit thicker shaft, thinner face. More of a broader high spot instead of a sharp.
Exactly.
And honestly, once you deep dive, do you want a sharp hide? Do you want a more of a broad hide?
You got to decide what you want.
You got to decide what you want.
But it's all here,
but
start to
there.
finish.
It's all there. Everything. Even these new dead center super tabs in the ice material.
Oh, I haven't seen those yet.
So those are really fantastic. So instead of like, we know blue has maximum adhesion, right? It's going to grip onto the panel. Problem is sometimes you might overpull and create that nasty hub. We all see it. What I like about the ice material, because of the rigidity, at some point it does release before you get that nasty high spot. So I really like those.
A little bit of a more cautious tab.
Cautious tab.
Yes,
that's right.
Like
Still hooks up though.
Oh, of course. That ice material always hooks up hard.
And then another awesome feature to the Premium is going to be lateral tension. Okay?
Hold on a second. We got to pull tickets out of here and see if we're winning.
We're going to do this. We're going to speed up real quick, and we're going to listen at the same time.
What was that number?
633.
602.
Nope, not me.
No, we're good. We're good.
All right, so anyways, we're down here.
Lateral tension as well to be able to unlock repairability, because we know some stuff is really sharp and really tight, really complex. Before we struggled sometimes.
It's amazing what lateral tension has done. I think you and Chris, I think you ended up shifting it, but the talk you were going to do at MT was unlocking repairability. And that unlocking repairability is exactly what this does. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing. So with the new tab straps, which keep the dive limited, I mean, almost virtually no dive.
None. Yes.
I mean, depending on where you're at, there is some cases you got to be mindful of.
Yep.
So we have every tab for lateral tension, cold glue as well, along with the K powers. So this system is stomp.
This is it. Look at all your runs here. This new gun.
That's it.
How was this 500 watts? Is that right?
Yeah, it gets pretty hot.
That's a lot of juice.
It's a lot of juice.
But what that means for you guys is faster recovery. You're going to run through the glue, and then it's going to melt and recover super fast. so you're back in and ready for your next tab.
Yep. So if I'm
Love
doing
to see
smaller
these
stuff, I'm
upgrades.
gonna stick with the gray. If I'm doing a lot of lateral tension, pivot over to the black just so it can recycle fast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love seeing the growth here. I'm telling you, it's serious FOMO when you guys dropped this before SEMA last year.
I know, so good.
Like, just unbelievable.
Yeah. Gives me, as a trainer, so much confidence now.
Exactly. And what about this
That's
little piece of wizardry here?
Do not forget about the Vortex cooler. You know, we're getting into the summer months. It's hot. We don't want to sit there waiting for glue to dry. This has like a little turbine in it. It's going to shoot hot compressed air out one end, cold compressed air out the other, and it's going to speed up that setup time.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Love it,
it's like, it's so cool.
It's great.
Literally so cool.
And this ain't, you know, this technology's been around a while.
Right.
But it's like, okay, there's a problem.
It's just adapting
let's find a solution.
Yes.
Here's the solution.
I like it.
Good
I like
stuff.
it a lot.
Good stuff.
So the tools are awesome. We talked about training is important. I know you guys have an event coming up.
Yes.
So tell everybody about your event that's coming up, when it is, what's going to go on.
So June 2nd through the 6th, we have another 5-day training, which goes through everything GPR, the premium, all the way into GPR Plus, which we're going to kind of touch on push tools, a lot of reading the light, understanding knockdowns. So June 2nd through the 6th, I mean, we have probably like 3, maybe 4 spots available for that. So man, it'd be awesome. Check it out.
You can't beat in-person training, and especially 5 days getting to hang out with this guy. And the lodge at KECO is pretty awesome.
That's right.
Cool place to hang
Don't
out.
drop
for
a
sure.
tab, you're gonna lose it.
Exactly. Yeah, the new floor looks awesome.
It's sweet.
For sure.
Yeah.
So guys, if you want to find out more about KECO, KECOtabs.com. Check out my boy Danny, and he'll get you taken care of. We'll see you on the next interview. All right, guys. So walking around the open house, and I ran into my old friend Eric Garves from Mobile Tech RX.
Yep.
And I was like, hey, dude, you want to get anything new coming out with Mobile Tech that you want to talk about? And funny enough, I don't know if you realize this, we interviewed Christina to start, and Mobile Tech RX was one of the key things in starting the whole open house tradition.
Yep.
There were a lot of people with questions, and she said she reached out to you and was like, hey, do you want to come up and do an open house? And this is number 8 already. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
If you look back at like the first invites that were sent out, it was co-branded. It was like Anson, Mobile Tech RX, Open House, Bonanza.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I missed the first one. I made it to the second one. So very cool.
Cool.
Very cool. So if you don't know Eric, he's one of the founders of Mobile Tech RX. Current position is
Managing Director.
Managing Director.
Same thing. Like my email signature says MTRX founder on it, so.
Nice.
I know even though we were acquired, I still rolled the majority of my shares into the new company. I still do the exact same thing I did before.
Nice.
Still work with the same engineers and salespeople and support people. So
that's awesome.
Not a lot's changed.
That's cool. Listen, I'm a big fan of Mobile Tech RX. I remember meeting you at MTE. What year would that have been that you guys brought the very rough?
That was 10 years ago. That was 2015.
Wow. So I see the booth at MTE. I walk over and they're like, hey, you can look, but don't touch, because if you hit the wrong button, it crashes the whole system. But as soon as you started working through, and that was like, there were tons of apps at the time. I looked and I was like, oh, this works the way my brain works. Like, this is how we work. You could tell it was software built by technicians for technicians. And I've been a user since beta, like forever. So that's awesome. Just quick interviews today. One, also I'd like to promote, you guys are doing a whole series. What is it, a monthly show on the Masters of Recon?
Yep.
So go check it out. You guys just did the kickoff episode. It was like almost 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Great show over on Masters of Recon with Corey and who's Corey's co-host?
Why am I drawing a blank now?
Ryan, right, with Corey and Ryan. Go check that show out. Go listen to it if you want to go in depth with Mobile Tech RX and everything like that. It's a great show, great information. But real quick today, you said you've got a couple of things coming out in the pipeline. What do you got for us?
Yeah, good timing to chat with you, because you're going to hear about this first, because we haven't yet really started to do any marketing for it, because we're a couple weeks away from some of these. So first one is Zapier integration.
Okay.
So for those that don't know what that is, that's a software that you use to connect other softwares. It's like a marketplace of software. So as an app, as a software company, you can go in and put your code in there and set it up in a way to where if you want to get data in and out of your application to go in and out of other applications, you can do it through Zapier.
Oh, cool.
And so you create what are called zaps, And that's like saying, okay, if I create an estimate in Mobile Tech RX, then when I do that, I want that to trigger and create a new client in my MailChimp account. And then I want it to populate the vehicle info and the price and all that stuff. And then when I create an invoice, I want it to, send off an email cadence that requests reviews or tries to capture work. Or, when I create a client in MailChimp, I want it to create the client for me automatically in Mobile Tech, so I don't have to go and double enter things.
Oh, nice.
And so there's a lot of use cases like that where it's going to be really helpful.
He's already got my gears turning because I'm like, we have some redundancy where we're doing things several times.
Exactly.
So yeah, we may have to talk more about that off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So Zapier integration.
Yeah, we're beta testing it now. There's several, probably about 15, 20 people that are kind of putting it through the paces, and they've got their computer gurus who've set up their CRMs, putting it through all the different flows that they have. And so through that, it's been really good. We've improved it a little bit as we gotten feedback. So we don't want to release it until it really went through that. So I would say we're, it's, what is it, May 3rd today?
Yes, May 3rd, yep.
So I think we're looking at before the end of this month, that should be
nice. So it's coming before the end of the month, the Zapier integration.
Yep.
Nice.
And then right behind that is the BlueDriver integration. And so what that is it's a little device. It's just an OBD-II, fits in the palm of your hand.
Super
and
small.
You're going to, plug this into the vehicle, and then from within Mobile Tech, it'll connect via Bluetooth.
Okay.
And then you'll initiate the scan, and you'll choose between a variety of scans, like a light, check engine light scan or a full system scan or whatever, and it'll send the results back to Mobile Tech. While it's doing that, you can leave the app, you can go take a phone call, you can go finish your estimate, so you're not stuck on that screen. It can kind of do it in the background.
Cool.
When you're done, all the results will populate. You'll have the actual raw data to look through and all the codes.
Right.
Dive into the codes and see what they mean. Sometimes we'll have even like fixes or tips on what that code means or how you can resolve it.
Yep.
And then when you're done with the car, you can do your post scan. And so it's really like cover your ass, do your pre, do your post.
Yeah, if you're
Did
not
you
doing
cause
pre and
anything?
post scans, you are way behind times. And this is going to make it even easier for technicians to adapt.
Exactly. And so, what's also nice is normally you do a pre and a post. If there is new codes, it may take you a while to kind of like go line by line and find out which one it is. And so this will do all that for you. We'll basically give you like a big thumbs up. Hey, no new codes.
Right.
Or if there are new ones, we'll alert you. There's 3 new, and here's what they are specifically to save you time. And then
cool.
Now you have all your documentation in one place. And when you want to email a customer, you can attach these if you want to.
Right.
So it just makes it, a lot of people are doing this now, and so it'll help you consolidate it down into one system. And for anyone that's not doing it now, like you said, you should be doing it.
You absolutely should be. So, and that'll attach the scans right into Mobile Tech.
Correct.
So I know, so for us, a lot of insurers, they're like, we're not going to fight you on scans, but we need to see the scans before we'll pay. So it's almost like it creates a supplement before you need a supplement, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then once the car is complete, we have to send in the scans, and then they pay us for the scan time. So this will be integrated right in and put in there. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, when you send it off, you'll have the option to like include diagnostic scans or not. So it's
cool. Does it? Can you clear codes with that as well?
So there isn't. The product here is BlueDriver. It's one of our sister companies.
Right.
There is a BlueDriver app that you're not going to need to use. You can, ideally, you're just in Mobile Tech and using it.
Right.
Now, if you want to clear a code, you can go and log in to the BlueDriver app.
Okay.
And it has the functionality in there. We are going to add it into Mobile Tech too.
Oh, cool.
So until we put the clearing in Mobile Tech, you'll be able to do it.
But you can do it that way. Oh, that's great.
Yep.
That's super cool.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So
good stuff.
I would say that one's probably a month behind Zapier.
So maybe sometime end of June.
Yeah, sometime in May,
season.
Zapier, sometime in June, BlueDriver.
Nice. Well, those are 2 new exciting additions to Mobile Tech RX. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Eric, thanks so much for coming on. Thanks for giving us a few minutes.
Thank you.
And just in case you still need Mobile Tech RX, is it mobiletechrx.com?
Yep.
There we go. So go check it out. Do you guys still offer a free trial?
We do.
Yeah, so if you haven't tried it or it's been years since you've tried it, go check them out. Sign up for the free trial, hop in and use it. We run our whole business off of it. So it's fantastic stuff. Thanks again, Eric.
Thank you.
Cool.
Bye, everybody.
Nice and easy. Thanks, dude.
Awesome.
All right, guys, we are back with another interview. We've got Nick from Dent Vision Tools. That's the inventor of the shock blocker.
Sir.
And now the zero gravity, which I cannot wait to get back and try out.
Good.
My favorite knockdown. I think this is number 7 or 8 for me. Like,
oh, geez.
Totally in love.
I think you got more than me.
You should have all of them.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take time to change tips. And they're all different colors, so I know what tip is on what.
Nice.
And I just grab it and go. So buy more shock blockers or zero gravities. But the reason I wanted to grab Nick and talk to him today is he's coming out with a new slide hammer. And as soon as I picked it up, I was like, this is pretty cool. So Nick, tell us what you got going on here.
All right, so our slide hammer, Stormbreaker, it's something that I really needed. I have 2 torn rotator cuffs, so I'm constantly just was in pain with slide hammering. So I can't remember who I saw talk about spring dampening slide hammer. Your spring up here, it's saving your tab, it's letting it go a little lighter.
That was me in your class.
Oh, yeah, it probably was.
Well, yeah.
And so I was thinking, you know what, I don't really care about my tab, I care more about my shoulder. I want the spring underneath the weight. Start throwing stuff together and we've come a long way. So we've got a weight up here, we've got our spring down here, so when you get a nice pull, your shoulder can free float a little bit. It's going to save all that pain. You're not going to instantly stop and pull. We put 6mm threads on both sides, so hot glue or cold glue on this side or this side.
Oh, so you can switch it, or make it a double head hammer.
Double headed, or put it on one side. Whatever you're doing the most is the side, I'd say, to take that shock absorbing side. Yep. The other side's going to be a regular pull. We went ahead and put a linear polymer bearing in here, so it's very slick, smooth.
It is smooth.
And as it continues to go, that polymer bearing actually leaves a film, which makes it smoother. So the one that I've been using for 6 months is smoother than this one. So it continues to get slicker as you use it, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So I'm excited to try one of these out. So what I noticed is the spring makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
Like the Pool Dog, I think, was the first one with a spring.
Yeah.
The KECO 2.5 pound has a spring. And it's almost like, at least on the KECO, like you either have a dead blow, which is like full spring, or you tighten it all the way up and then you have a hard smack. What I noticed with this is when I picked it up, you get that hard initial impact, and then the dampening. The other ones seem to be dampening the whole time.
Yeah, it's spring first and then weight. So I flipped that so it's more on your shoulder.
It's pretty cool, and you should be able to hear that on the mic, where you get that impact and then there's that dampening. I think that's going to be a pretty cool. I think you're going to be able to develop a lot of touch with that, I would assume, too.
Yeah.
On top of saving your shoulder.
I mean, it's the same pull motion that we're used to, which is what I wanted to do. I was like, I want anyone to have to relearn what they're doing with a slide hammer. I want it to be something we're very familiar with. So it came out nice. And then unintentionally, we got where you can push down and get a little bit of spring impact when you're using this side, just to help you move a little bit faster. So.
Right. I like it. So what's the weight on this?
The total weight of the slide hammer is 2 pounds, 4 ounces. The actual weight that you're hitting with is 1 pound, 6 ounces.
Okay, so middle of the road.
Yeah, not too heavy, not too light.
Not light, just straight hail, but not a heavy, like, blow your shoulder out slide hammer.
Yeah, because I do mostly door dang stuff, so I wanted something I could still use, but not something so heavy that hail guys would be pushed away from it.
Right, right. Do you have a price point figured out on them yet?
I'm going to say they're going to be right around, like, low 200s, like 215, 220, somewhere around
right in line with everything.
Yeah,
and I know these are prototypes.
Yes.
When are you projecting to have them out?
So the only reason it's prototype right now is I'm really just waiting on anodizing on these 3 pieces, and my springs are coming in. It'll come with 2 different springs. This is the heavier spring. It has a lighter spring.
Oh, so you can change that out.
Yeah, or you can put both springs in there and just have one really hard spring. So it will affect how hard you have to pull and stuff like that.
Nice.
But we're probably looking 3 weeks, something like that.
Okay.
A month at the latest.
So maybe beginning of June, something like that.
That's what we're going for.
That's awesome. And where will they be able to get them?
Get them right here at Anson.
Right here at AnsonPDR.com. Nick, thanks so much. I'm excited to check those out. I can't wait till they come to market, and I'll definitely be adding one to my collection.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Cool. All right, see ya.
Later.
All right, so this guy has... It's recording? Yeah. All right, so I've been trying to catch this guy for like the last hour every time I walk over. He's super busy. Everybody's checking it out. Our old friend Keith Cosentino.
Nice to see you, Gene.
Right, with Black Plague. He's getting ready to demo the new Shrinky Box, the SB4. I'm personally in love with it. I think it's a great design, but I want to hear Keith talk about it and all of that good stuff. So Keith, off to you, brother.
Yeah, thanks. So the SB4 is our shrinking box built from the perspective of a technician. So previously when I get a shrinky box, it just has the box, but I'm not able to use it right out of the box because there's a couple things that have to happen before I can do it. I've got to remove all the primer from the back of the panel. I don't have anything for that at my shop or in my truck because I don't do that kind of work.
Right.
Then I discovered the braces or the dents behind a brace. Well, the normal copper or the gouging rod that comes with it doesn't get behind the brace. I got to go to Home Depot, buy a piece of copper. So I put a piece of copper in with this one already for getting in turning corners, getting in braces. And then on aluminum panels, there's a magnet for the ground. You have to ground it on the bare metal and then shock it in the bare metal. With aluminum, the magnet doesn't work. So what guys traditionally do is they put it behind the aluminum and then they put a piece of steel on the outside to make it stick on the inside.
Yep.
But like we're doing precision work, I don't want to scratch this paint or put something on top of it. So for grounding aluminum, we have this clamp that has a copper electrode. You just move the ground to this and then expose a little part of a brace and then ground it there. So, and then all of that fits down inside of a little case. The other ones don't come with a case, so I have these squids hanging around my shop, and this is just a nice little compact unit in a box, which is really, what one guy said earlier today, he said, oh, this is like a break glass in case of emergency. Well, that's exactly what it is.
That is exactly,
you leave it in that box, and you hope as a dent guy you never open it, because shrinking dents is not that fun.
Right.
But when you have one that's oil can, this is the machine that brings it back. So when you open the case, you have everything you need to go, presuming you have a drill,
yes,
to work and actually do the job.
Right.
Before, it's like I literally had to leave a mobile job and go to Home Depot and buy all these things and come back and pretend to play a Rector set.
Right.
Now it's ready to go.
It's all in
one thing I overlooked, it has a button to energize it. So you're able to put it behind the panel, find it like you would with a dent tool, get real comfortable with where it is, and then energize it. I think that's very important because when it's live all the time, every time you touch it, you're getting juice. And I promise you the first time you touch it is not exactly where you wanted it to go.
For sure.
Right? Because same way you start a dent. You search. Okay, there I am. I'm where I want to be. This is the same thing. You have to be in the right spot.
Yes.
So we've got this one sanded off and prepped.
So you guys want to come over here and watch this. I got him on audio, so you see what you need to see.
Yeah.
Need a light?
Yeah.
Go over there with Keith.
I'm working. Yeah, that's perfect, Gene. Right
Right
there. That's great. Yeah. So this one is set up with the copper. The copper has an insulator on the outside, so if you wanted to go into a panel and turn a corner, we've got this so you can bend it just like a dent tool. So if I'm on a fender, if I have this straight rod kind of coming at it, it's really awkward. Like you wouldn't do a dent with a straight rod on a fender. But with this, we have this little curve. You can just come in there and hit it nice and comfortably while you're watching on the outside.
Yep.
This little adapter fits a tiny piece of this carbon rod because it moves more easily on the back of the metal. The copper will try to stick to it a little bit, micro weld itself, and that's just what it does. You have to fight it a little bit. So if you have an open spot, we put a little piece of carbon in there, but you can use the copper there if you
Either
like.
way.
So for this one, we'll just make it easy and go with the rod. So we take that adapter out, put this guy in. And on the SB4, it's got two different modes. It's got a time mode where it's only hot as long as I push this button. And it has a power mode, which is you select the level of power and then it's hot as long as you're holding the button down. I think the time mode is really more for figuring out the machine. And once you figure that out, you stay on power mode. And in the 20s is where it starts, very low, almost won't do anything, very safe. I prefer to start there and then work up, because you can burn it if you start high and go low.
Always, yep.
So we'll start nice and low. You got to make sure the ground is actually grounded. So that's so low, I can't see anything in the panel. So we'll just go up from there.
So we're up to 48% power.
I don't know if you can catch the reflection right in front of my finger here. Can you see that in the frame?
Yes.
So if you keep it moving, you can kind of see it dancing around like a tip of a tool. And if I hold it in one spot, intentionally making a mistake, you'll see it lift up there and burn the paint. So you have to keep moving with it, or you can just tap the button. Also pretty safe.
And each tap is one little zap.
Yeah,
right?
one zap at a time. So what I'll do is I'll work the dent until it's oil canned, and when it's high, I'll go in and I'll zap each little low pit. And then when I've got about all of them, I'll go to knock it down again, and I'll find it's a little stronger than it was the last time, but it'll still flop down.
Yep.
Push it back up and repeat the process 2, 3, 4 times. Is that about what you experienced?
Yeah, 2, 3, 4. Depends on how stretched it is.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. But it's I wanted to showcase this on the show because the tool it's just so much more versatile than like the original ones.
What we didn't cover is the very best part of it, and that is when you scan the front of it with your phone.
Right here.
You get to hang out with Gene again.
That's right. We do like, what is it, like a 20-minute video or something?
Yeah, you did amazing video with multiple camera angles because honestly, if you get one of these boxes and you haven't used it before, what do? You call one of your friends who hopefully told you about it. You say, Mike, what do I do? How do I use this shrinky box?
Yeah, we got a special guest on the episode today. Mr. Mike Toledo with my broken microphone.
Actually, I do want to know how to do this because I was using it and I want to know the settings on this and like what you think about this. Like,
yeah, so this is great. So go ahead and walk it through that.
So
we were just talking about this. So I think when you turn it on natively, it's around 20%. So I think that's where it lands.
I think it holds when you turn it off and on, but 20 is default.
Default setting. So that's where I always start, which I did here on a demo. Can't see anything. So then you go up 30, 40, 50 until you start seeing it. And right when I start seeing it is where I like to stay. I know guys like Bryce Kelly, they go really high in the power and they just tap it. And he says it's just faster. I would rather be safe and take a little more time and not risk burning it. Because at 100%, if I hold it for a half a second, it's going to burn.
Yeah.
So I go usually in between 40 and 60% is where most panels go. But I first work the dent until it cans, then it's high. I leave it high, and I try to zap every low like I'm using a dent tool, like I'm still trying to work it. After I get as many lows as I can, I go to knock it down and go flat again, and I'll find it's a little stronger before it flops down.
is there a voltage setting as well, or is it just the power setting?
I mean, the power setting is a voltage setting. If you notice this number to the right, what that indicates is that voltage coming into the machine is not adjustable. It's just a reading of what it's getting
So
from
you
the
make it
wall.
easy for just one setting.
Yeah, it's just up, down, so there's really nothing to screw up.
So 40 to 60%, kind of just do a little tap to see it, or a little roll just to see if it's moving. If it's moving, you kind of leave it there and kind of get like a meet and greet with the wand.
Yeah, if a little meet and greet, and if I can see we're right around here.
Yeah.
That's pretty low.
Yeah.
As I'm moving, you almost can't see it.
Yeah.
If I stay stuck, there goes
And then
that
that
light.
like us. Yeah, right there. Let's put a lock on that.
But even at, what are we at, 48, if I hold it, 1, 2, it's going to come close to burning. 1, 2, 3. Those are not burning, but they're real close. They're right on the border here. So you can hold it hot and tap it. That's pretty safe because the tap is fast, but it's not as accurate. Or you can go like you're talking about, Mike, in a pattern, but it's when you stop, it's when you get into trouble. You know, like when your kids used to write with a marker pen, and you hold it in the corner and it just starts bleeding out, and then you go to the line. We don't want that bleed out. That's the burn. So it's just being quick, whether it's quick with the button, quick with the action, or
keep moving,
or quick with the movement.
So what I look for is like you start turning the juice up, and you can see the tip. It's when you start, it starts leaving like the smallest high spot. Yeah. Like when it's leaving a little trail, that's where I find like I get my maximum shrinking without burning the paint.
Yeah, maximum reward versus minimum risk.
Exactly, exactly. And then it's just rinse and repeat how many times you need to do it.
No, because I have the other one, right? And I was using this one, but I didn't know. I was so familiar, so I wanted to make sure I was using it right. You know? So I was just kind of getting a heads up on yours. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
Yeah.
It's a great little machine.
Perfect. So you have a button on here. So
Yes.
I'm gonna do it just for yours, right? So you have a button on here where most of them don't have a button, like because it's like hitting and sparking everything and then.
Yeah.
But this controls that.
Yeah. The couple, they're all great machines that are on the market. The one that has no button, it's just a different technique, and for me, it was a little harder to use because I don't know where I can set it down. I don't want it to shock something.
Yeah.
I want to be able to find it. I'm a little more timid finding my spot, and then I wanted to turn it on. So the Cam Auto has a button. I think it's an amazing machine as well. This one just has a lot more accessories, and it's coming in at a lower price point.
And did you already mention that he has that little copper?
Yeah, we
wire?
talked about the copper wire to be able to get in.
That was
and everything.
awesome. That was awesome. Like,
Yeah.
that was great. Like I know Joe Garcia, he did something a long time ago with his own box back in the day, his homemade stuff. And he had a copper thing going in there. Yeah. So then when you came out there, I was like, Joe, I mean, did you see Mr. Shrinky Boxes?
Right.
And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, look. He's like, oh, that's freaking cool.
Yeah, that's what you need. In fact, there's a guy named Clint Kidder who is a master with shrinking boxes. He's up in Washington, I believe, and he sent me a video the other day where he had this is out, right? He had a dent right between a big brace, deep in the brace. So he took a whale tail, cut sandpaper out to match the whale tail, glued it on there, went in and prepped it.
Yeah, we do that too.
And then he took the same whale tail and put it right here, taped up the whole thing except the tip of the whale tail, and went in and did the shrinking with the whale tail itself.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Huh.
Maybe
You took it
whale
to
tail
step
adapter.
2.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Next level. So there's a tech tip if you like throwing those out. I thought that was pretty cool.
No doubt.
Well, thank you very much for the
Thanks for the drop
tech
by.
tips yourself.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the cameo. Another
I
legend.
didn't know your interview. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Good deal. Well, Keith, thanks so much for showing us this.
My pleasure.
And again, right, you can always check out the video, the full length video we did there. We've got an event, or you've got an event coming up here at Anson in October.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a second before we head out.
Excited about this. Well, it's called the PDR College Advanced Skills Seminar. I should know what number this is, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
6 or 7
something
or 8.
like that.
We've done a lot of them. Around annually. I think we might have missed a year here or there. But the idea behind the Advanced Skills Seminar is bringing the people with amazing skill sets in PDR from around the world all into one place and letting them teach what it is they do for 4 days. So it's a place that you come if you're already a technician that's proficient, you're already working, you have clientele, you have people, and expanding your skill set will return more money for you because you have a place to do it. If people are newer, we actually kind of encourage them to maybe wait to come to it until you can really use that. I'll never say no.
Of course.
But it isn't a cheap seminar, and it's not a short seminar. It's a long one. And it's high-level stuff that we're doing, so you kind of need a baseline to be able to apply a lot of it.
Absolutely.
But every year we have some of the same instructors and some new ones. This year we have Bryce Kelly as the headline trainer.
Right.
It just keeps getting better every year. If you haven't seen any of his videos, look up Central Florida Dent Repair on YouTube, and it'll break your mind.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
If he didn't show the process, you would be fairly certain it's fake.
Exactly.
But because he
shows it all.
He shows it all, and what he does is amazing. And what's really interesting is none of it is out of this world techniques.
It's just good, solid technique. Like he just thinks it through and he makes it happen.
He does. He does push the boundaries, but he can show you what he does.
Exactly.
He can teach you what he does.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you could be him, but you at least knowing what he's supposed to do. You know what I compared it to the other day is a race car driver. When you're trying to learn how to drive a car fast, they ride with you and they go, okay, a little faster here, a little harder here. And then you ride with them and it's 10 times faster.
Right.
They tell you exactly what to do. It doesn't mean you can do it.
Right.
It's hard to implement when you're actually trying to do it. But there's race car drivers and there's race car engineers. And they're different roles on purpose. The engineer built the car the best.
Right.
But he can't drive it the best.
Nope.
Someone else has that skill set, and that's Bryce. So can you be Bryce? Maybe.
Right.
But you still, if you want a coach to go around with you, you want the best coach, the fastest guy.
Absolutely.
Tell you, here's how I go the fastest to get you as close as you can get. to Bryce Keller. So,
and I've seen Bryce teach a bunch of times, and it's always, you always learn and take away something.
Yeah,
always.
because he's evolving too. Every year
Yep.
he's bringing new tools, new
Yep.
techniques. So he's our headline trainer. And then we've got a good friend of yours, John Vidic. Is
Yep.
that how you say his last name?
Vidic, yeah.
Vidic, yeah.
Yep.
He's won the Dent Olympics and similar competitions 10
time winner, yes.
I think nobody's won it that many times.
No, I think that we were just talking the other day. I think the closest is 4 or 5. So
Yeah.
he's more than double anybody else. Yeah.
Yeah, I've won it 11 times, but that's in my mind.
Right,
That's not
exactly.
real. So to repeat it that many times, you have a special skill set or a special method.
Yep.
Right? You can win once or twice if you're really good, but to win that many times,
Yes.
he's the best.
And against some of the best in the world.
Exactly.
Like it's yeah.
So he's going to come and teach what he does in that realm, and I'm sure more things. That's a pretty small. It's a small piece, a deep dent, but
Right.
it's the fundamental building block of the entire trade.
It really is.
Right. So
it
if
really
you can
is.
do that, you can extrapolate that idea out of our big panel. So I'm very
Exactly.
excited to learn from John. And then we've got a technician from Taiwan, Jay Ma. You
Oh,
may
nice.
know him
I don't know.
on social. So he I think he was originally trained by Mike Toledo,
Okay.
and he's now in Taiwan. He's running an amazing business, and he's got a great social. So I want to learn how he does his social, number one.
Right.
But here's a really unique thing about his repairs. In Taiwan, they cannot take the panels off the cars.
Huh.
The car will lose 20% of its value
If it's taken apart.
If they notice the panel has come off.
Huh.
So
That's crazy.
he does big, ugly smashes, and he leaves them all on the car.
Wow.
He does a lot of KECO product. He's
Right.
all in on KECO, and he's doing crunch Teslas, like crumpled lift gates, all with the panel on the car, and beautiful results.
That's crazy.
So
Well, that's
he's-
exciting.
Jay Ma's coming out from
I'm gonna have to go
Taiwan.
check him out.
And then on the soft skills side, have you heard of Billy Wakowiak?
Yes.
Collision
Yeah, I know
safety
Billy. Yep.
consultant?
Yep.
So Billy is the guy that you use when you have a situation where the insurance company and the body shop can't come to terms on a price.
Yep.
Billy's a licensed adjuster, so he does something called the appraisal clause, right? Where the body shop wants 10 grand, the insurance company says it should be 5. The customer invokes this appraisal clause, and that requires both parties to hire an independent appraiser, and those two will negotiate. That's Billy on your side to negotiate.
Right.
And he'll help that customer get everything that they're owed.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he's just looking at the real facts. The car needs this, and it just needs it or it doesn't.
Right.
And he gets that estimate approved. He also does some other thing, diminished value claims.
Yep.
But the reason we're having him come to speak to us is to really understand what this resource is and how we help our customers utilize it, to basically help us get paid.
Right.
And how to handle the adjusters when we are not hiring out with an appraiser, a third
Right.
party. How to have those conversations, how to win those conversations when you're getting bullied around a little bit.
Right.
And that happens more and more. The higher your tickets are, the more you kind of get bullied by the adjusters.
No question.
And we need
No
all
question.
the tools we can get. So we're attacking the skills, and we're getting the knowledge to put them to use and get paid. And there's some other things we got going on there too. And the schedule's still being developed for the entire 4 days, but that's the root of it. It's going to be here in this building. So if you look around, this is a nice big warehouse.
That's a
We
great
have lot of
warehouse.
space. There's literally every tool you want is here.
Yes, and then some. And
In
then
years
some.
past, we have done completely hands-off training. This year, we're going to do some hands-on training. So there'll be stations that we can show different techniques and different styles.
Oh,
And
nice.
the attendees will be able to get their hands-on tools and actually try these things that they're learning with the coaches right there to say, no, not quite like that, a little bit more like that.
Oh, nice. Well, that's exciting.
It's really great.
And what are the dates?
October, I believe it's the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. That's
8th,
Wednesday,
9th.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Or whatever Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday
That could
falls
be,
around
it could
there.
be 7th, 8th.
Yeah,
but it's
something,
it's right
something
there.
right
It's
around
that,
there.
It's that weekend.
And tickets are not available yet?
Not yet. no.
Anywhere to sign up to be on the list? Because I know it'll sell out.
Yeah, it will. Probably by the time you see this, if you go to pdrcollege.com, there should be a
Okay.
box floating around there somewhere to
All
put your
right.
email. We always launch by email first, so if you're on the PDR College email list, you'll get an opportunity to sign up first.
Nice. So head on over to pdrcollege.com. That's going to be a great event. Keith, thanks for showing us the Shrinky Box.
My pleasure.
Very cool, and I'm really excited to come and hang out at Advanced Skills and get that going as well.
It's going to be great. Thanks for
All right.
coming with us.
Sure thing.
Thanks, Gino.
All right, guys. So just a little peek into the open house with great interviews. This is always one of our favorite events to come to. It's nice, it's social, it's great. Don't forget, next year, May 2nd, is the 30th anniversary of Anson. Will be the open house. I'm certain that's going to be a bigger event than this. And they go bigger and badder every year anyways. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. You can follow us at Auto Appearance Institute across the board on all social media. Check out our whole catalog of learning at autoappearanceinstitute.com. Go check out the Shrinky Box. Go check out Anson, Dent Vision Tools, Mobile Tech RX, KECO, right? It was a good one. Guys, I'll see you on the next episode.